what have you. Those were put to rest in that first set. 6-3 pair of breaks looked very sharp. Here's set 2.
It's so interesting to hear Andre speak on the changeover about how instead of hitting the ball harder, you work harder with your feet when the ball comes more slowly. That's a lesson for everyone at home.
And that's why fitness was such an integral part of what Andre did and why he spent so much time with Gil Reyes to get his body in condition to be able to move those feet and get in position.
Yeah, he wasn't the quickest mover on the court, but he had to take advantage of situations, anticipate, take early, put the pressure on his opponents to move more as opposed to defending as much himself.
$15-30.
That's a tough combination when Agassi's starting to serve well, because you know he's going to put pressure on your serve.
Just missed there.
30-40.
And a break point for Ferreira to nose out in front in this first set. What happened here?
Well, he worked his feet well. It looks like he just got it out of his strike zone slightly at the last bit. Just didn't get over the top. And in this thin air, you lose that ball, you can't get it back.
Paints the baseline.
You know, if you saw that last forehand, he just got his racket head over the top of the ball. He put a lid on it. Watch this ball. See how he gets over the top with the wrist and the racket head, and that gives it just enough dip.
Put a lid on it. I like that. Just topped it off there, just enough.
Wouldn't you like to have had that one cutting out wide? And that had to be a good second serve, because Ferreira has a fair weapon in the forehand himself. It's fairly flashy, a bit whippy. When he starts converting that forehand, look out. Even a guy like Agassi has to respect that play.
Thank you. Game Agassi.
So, it manages to hold. First set to him 6-3. Gives us a chance to look at our Sanderson-Volvo first set stats. And that first line, winners 2-1 in favor of Andre. That's a line you used to see in a lot of his matches.
Yep, that's a category he liked to lead in winners. But, you know, I think perhaps the unforced errors maybe a little unfair to Ferreira. He is under a fair amount of pressure from Agassi. Some of those might have been unforced, yet he does need to improve his play.
Nothing you do when you play Agassi is technically unforced.
Well, you talked about Ferreira being 0-11. I'm 0-2 against Agassi, and you know,
and I know you do. Do you remember where they came?
Yeah, it was in Orlando and in I believe Charleston. And
remember the score? You remember the score line?
7-6, 6-4, and that was the closest I got. And after that, he figured me out. It wasn't much of a problem, really.
So what was the second score line?
3-2, I think.
Okay.
A little slower hard court. But the problem with Agassi is you never have time to play your game. It seems like you're always responding to what he does. And unless your game is this kind of game where you're defending, scrapping, getting a lot of balls back, and then suddenly grabbing the advantage, that's your game. You can play that. But you have to play it well, otherwise you're going to be shaking hands pretty quickly. Yeah, see, now that's what I'm talking about. You have to defend, but do it spectacularly well. I remember watching Nadal play Andre Agassi in Canada, and Nadal was having to work hard to break down these kind of attacking plays from Agassi. And the same will be asked of Ferreira today.
I mean, if that ball gets up anywhere between his hip and his shoulder, that is a green light go.
And he's just one of those players who revolutionized the game. Pace from high above the shoulders.
Game Ferreira.
And his strike zone can go from the ankles to the shoulders, like he talked about earlier. He's rough from anywhere.
Second set on serve, game apiece. First set to Andre Agassi, 6-3 in this first semifinal. Cancer Treatment Centers of America Championships in Surprise, Arizona. First tournament back for Agassi, serving into the sun. Good stuff. Ferreira starting to find that rhythm off the ground.
And this cross-court ball from Agassi just doesn't do enough right here. You can see it's fairly central. And Ferreira's got some room to hit.
Left 30.
I haven't won a point since someone in the crowd gave him a compliment. I'm not sure what it was, but he's on the he's got the kibosh on him. That's one great player lost.
15-40.
And there's the early break to Ferreira, who has raised his level in these opening games, put pressure on Andre's serve first time out of the gate, actually broke him second time out.